Going on YouTube? Today we are messing with the 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Right now we have the wife's Jeep still on the hoist, waiting on parts. So she's been driving this. She told me this thing decided it wanted to go in death wobble on her, go and shake, going over an intersection that we go over about any time we leave home. We did have it at Maris in, we'll call it the middle of December, Maris Off-Road, Maris Adventure Park in Texas. Cool place. I did notice, I was in the Gladiator, did notice that it had some clunking at the end. I drove it back, didn't have any play or anything unusual. But clunking would indicate something might have been coming loose. And now it's starting to shake, so something must have came loose. We never had time to look at it because once we got back, we put her Jeep on the hoist and have been working on it when it wasn't minus 25 or whatever the Arctic blast we had. But now this becomes a priority. It's shaking. That can actually cause a lot of other problems as well. When it goes into the shaking, it can knock a lot of stuff loose, have bolts back out, fall out, cause a lot of weird tire wear. When it's shaking, you need to figure it out. When we get comments on our other death wobble video, which we'll link in the description below, that was on a, I don't remember exactly what year it is. It's a JL Bikini Pearl, but we had a whole video on that and people seem to really like that one. So we're gonna go another one, see if we find something different. I'm gonna go through the same steps for the most part, see what we got. So, should be noted, this is not stock, obviously. Does not look like stock, right? This thing, steering-wise, is stock. It's got an aftermarket track bar. Metal Cloak, right? We love Metal Cloak, absolutely love them. Everything we put on Metal Cloak, we never are disappointed. This bolt right here will wear out in the frame bracket if it comes loose. I've already replaced this bolt. I can tell it's by looking at it, it's not the stock bolt. I don't remember replacing it, but clearly I did. We will check and see if there's any play in these bushings on this side and on the differential side. We'll check that. We're gonna check our drag link because it's still stock. And it's been dealing with bigger tires since it was new. Actually, I think when Mark and Mary ended up with this, I think the dealers had 35s on it. They kind of upfitted it. You know, we could have a lot of wear. It's never had regular size tires. This is just a sport. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start checking everything. Check bolts. A bolt check is huge. And really you should do it after every off-road trip. It's something, if you do it often, you know exactly what size and you can fly through a bolt check. I'm gonna go through, bolt check everything first before I even bother shaking the steering wheel. Something that's easy to do and it might save us a lot of time chasing a problem that was just a loose bolt. We're gonna do the frame side track bar bolt first. Beans I've done aftermarket bolt, bigger bolt, I can't remember, I think they're 9/16 diameter, but I'm using a 13/16 on the head of it, and it's a 7/8 on the back for the nut, because the nut's a little bit bigger. Be really handy not to have the tire in the way, but we're gonna make do. Heck, let's cheat. I don't have a great way to get on it, so we'll go like this, and we'll watch, see if the head moves. Oh, gosh. Okay, guys. Not worry about that bolt being loose. My camera lady isn't able to be out here, so, you know, you get a deal with old shaky hands here. But I'm cheating. I'm using a little tripod. And I also don't have a flashlight, so I'm using our camp light, Devos. But, man, you can see how bright it is. I love this thing. I've also replaced this side as well. I can tell by looking. We'll see if this bolt is loose. I'm gonna pull up on this one. Okay, that's good as I can get on that. Oh, nope. Nope. Nope, she's good. Good and tight. All right, I'm gonna wiggle and jiggle. You're looking at the frame side track bar bolt and joint right there. So I'm gonna see if there's any play by doing this. All right, guys, it didn't look like it really moved any on me to what I would expect if it was loose. We are going to drop down here. So we're gonna watch the jam nut is what we're gonna watch and see if it's pulling away from that black bracket. This is the differential side of the track bar. Well, that looked tight on the axle side of the track bar. Now we're gonna watch we'll watch the wheel side of the drag link, and we'll also catch the tie rod as well over here and see what we got going on here. With two people, this is a lot easier. It can be done by yourself. You can also do it with pry bars. I find that usually you can find it doing this and save the hassle of trying to find the best way to get on it with the pry bar and how to pry it the right way and all that. So that was like a pretty good view. Let's go shake a steering wheel, see what happens. All right, guys, did you see that? I seen a problem. So this, we were watching this joint here. This goes to this is the drag link. That goes up to your steering gearbox, or your pitman arm, actually, to be technical, which attaches to your gearbox. This is what you're directly moving when you turn the steering wheel. It goes from that side over there. Follow this all the way up. This is the bar. Here, I'm gonna come even closer to make sure y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want anybody having questions on it, right? So this ties in to the pitman arm, which is this right here, and that big nut is the gearbox up there. So this directly is tied with your steering. And then this lower one is your tie rod. This goes from one side over to the other. It holds your two front wheels in line with each other, so they operate at the same direction. When I was doing that, moving the wheel, did you see this joint moving? This wasn't staying tight. These are supposed to move together. It looked like in my video this was going up and down, as if this joint here is wore out, and it had side to side. So now, to help verify that, I had a helper show up out of nowhere, and he has no idea he's going to get put to work for a split second. Oh, it's easy. Come here, buddy. I just need you to hop in there. You're just going to operate the steering wheel. I'm going to show you what I need you to do once you get in there. So I'll tell you when. I'm just going to need you to kind of go to where you're bouncing. I won't go no more, you know. Just like this. That's what we're doing when I'm coming up here and you guys don't see me. I'm just jiggling the steering wheel. You don't have to go fast, but you want to get it to where it's hard. Yeah. All right, I'll tell you when, buddy. I'm going to go down here and make sure we can see what we're watching for. And I'll have you wiggle and jiggle. All right, buddy, go for it. Holy buckets. That's about to fall apart, guys. I'm going to check the other side. Nothing right now, but driving wise, yeah. Let's try to get you. All right, go ahead. Oh my gosh, guys. I got more problems. I don't know how easy it's going to be to see in the video. Do it a little harder side to side. This whole shaft here is moving a pretty substantial amount. I have to do a brace on that. Actually, do it again. Yeah. My whole gearbox is moving, guys. Let's see if I can get zoomed in here for you. My hand up here. You see this piece here? All right, you're good, buddy. Thank you. Got it. That was some really good timing, man.
Yeah.
Bad news is now the Gladiator wants money. Money, money, money! But it's stock part. And this thing's always had big tires. We've wheeled the crap out of it, and we know Mark wheeled the crap out of it too.
Yeah.
So, guys, guess what? We're dealing with a worn part here. Now I just got to figure out what company. I know the obvious answer should be Metal Cloak, and there's a 98% chance it will be Metal Cloak. But I'm going to look into a little bit more and just make sure I know which way I want to go. That's definitely the problem, guys. That's a lot of play. Well, just like that, I know what we need to order. I also know that I don't have to risk a shop not necessarily catching that and thinking it's something else. There's a lot of controversy still going on what causes a death wobble on these new Jeeps, and it's always a steering stabilizer. I'll tell you right now, you should be able to run without a stabilizer. Even on this Jeep, on this Gladiator, it's got, I want to say 2-inch wheel spacers, because the back spacing on the wheels that the dealership ordered is not the greatest back spacing. I mean, it would rub. So it has spacers on it now. So the scrub radius is all messed up, all that. It's also going to put more wear on it because my tires are further away from the ball joints. The center of my tire is out further. Look, I know that part's worn out. I'm not going to mess around with jumping around anywhere else right now. And while I'm at it, I might do a tie rod. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, because those are also stock, thin, chintzy parts. I mean, they're made for 33s and daily driving, not for abusing them. Haven't been easy on it, but now, guess what? It's showing. It wants a little bit of money put into it, so we'll do that. I might take the spacers off too. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't played with it. I need a drag link, and I need it bad. That's sloppy. That's really sloppy. And I also need to get a sector shaft brace, is what they call it. How I was showing you guys the pitman arm. The sector shaft is what that big nut is on the bottom of the pitman arm. They will have some movement, and my gearbox, the whole thing is moving. They're not moving the same amount. The sector shaft's moving a lot more than the gearbox up high. I forget what company it was. We've installed 2 of them here, I think. I don't know if they've ever been recorded though. I'm gonna go inside, break the bad news to the old finance lady. Tell her that we need to spend more money on parts, even though that's taking it all. We got the part we needed. We got the drag link. We debated which way to go, which one to order. Ultimately, we decided to go with Fusion, even though we love Metal Cloak, mainly because aluminum. I've
75 aluminum at that.
Yep.
Which is what I have on my Jeep, which is why we went with it for the Gladiator.
Well, I seen her drop down onto the tie rod end and had her both front tires off the ground, and the tie rod end do a nice big old bend, and I thought for sure we were stuck. She backed off of it, bing, fling, bounced right back perfectly straight. Okay then. Plus Fusion's ends, I forget what they're rated, like 1.5 ton or 2 ton.
2.5.
2.5 ton. Where Metal Cloak is, I think 1
ton
or 1.5 ton.
Yeah.
Well, and I like the adjustability on this more than Metal Cloak. There's a JK, which they use the same style, as you can tell. So this is the adjustment piece right here for Metal Cloak. So you have to unloosen that, and then this is what you turn. I don't like it just because right here. In my mind, that's
way too much thread showing for where we live.
Yeah, and that's an added weak point, right, to an extent. And the end forgings are bigger. I mean, you can tell on the Fusion they're bigger, right? I do like the castle nut style here with the cotter pin. I love that because these self-locking nuts, man, these things are always spinning when you're trying to do that. I'd rather go and set this and put a cotter pin in it. Yeah, the cotter pins can be a pain in the butt. Worth it.
If you nut and bolt check your stuff every oil change, you don't have to worry about it.
Yep. Well, and then if you got to take your stuff apart 20 times like we do for whatever reason, trying to get the most droop, we're trying to gain a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch of drop, you got to take everything apart.
Castle nut is much better.
Way better.
And way more forgiving.
Yeah. Ultimately, I'm planning on going with a Fusion tie rod in too, so I figured we'll just go Fusion on the steering. They've got the new F-ton ends on it. We put them on her Jeep. I like it a lot. They got the anti-flop built in to the joint. It's all one piece. Looks real nice. Worked good on hers. We're going to do it on the Gladiator.
which was his other complaint and why he contemplated on which one to go with, because the original Fusion steering did not have the misalignment. It was a boot, as you'll see in prior videos when we were talking about it on mine.
Yeah, they have a
Delrin bushing.
Yeah,
basically.
Instead of having a boot or anything, it's just like a puck that goes here, and it tries to limit that. Well, on her, she has a hydro assist ram. Guess what? That ram doesn't care.
Right through it.
It doesn't care about any little boot. You know, it's going to make stuff move, and I couldn't stand that. But they finally built the joints with it built into it. That was my only complaint I had with everything Fusion so far, is that. We got to anti-seize the crap out of these. Anytime you got steel going into aluminum, you want anti-seize. Dissimilar metals, you are going to have a ton of problems if you just run it dry. Don't do that.
And over anti-seize it. You can never over anti-seize.
If you're not gray when you're done, or silver, you've done something wrong.
Yes.
Although there is different colors anti-seize.
Not in our book.
I know. Drag link comes up to your pitman arm. That's this end right here. The stock one is a 21 millimeter. Is the other side the same size? It is. But now I'm definitely cheating. I don't know if it's loosening or not. I can't tell. Heck no, it's not. I'm going to use a vice grip. They have a piece up here you can put a wrench on. But in my experiences, that smaller wrench doesn't hold for that bigger nut most of the time. Try to find a way I know I can get them back off. Let them jam up against something. Like that. I'm sitting here looking at it. We might have to take the tie rod off even to get the old one off or the new one on. Yeah. So you got to take the tie rod off to do this.
Note to self.
Good luck.
JL and JTs have garbage steering.
Ugh.
You just had to... Hold on. What size sledgehammer is that?
10-pound sledge. I haven't used a pickle fork in so long.
The 90 was probably the last vehicle.
And look at that. I just bowed it out. I mean, it's just the way it's stuck on. It's not really... It's just ridiculous. I don't understand it. Jeep's got low miles. It's not rusty. I mean, I backed this all the way off with the wrench. But man, it was stuck to that pitman arm. I was banging on the pitman arm. Won't pop off. Got the pickle fork out, was trying your regular hammers. Normally it just pops loose with a pickle fork. It's a wedge. I mean, see how it wedges, tapers down? So it pushes against this and the other piece, and it just kind of slides in because it gets the grease on it. Just whoop, pops it free with some hits. I'd have tracked down a 10-pound sledge and go two-hand on it. So, good luck, good luck. Hopefully yours is easier. My goodness. It's got in and out play. No, you don't want that. This, you need to have some of that. Some misalignment, right? I don't know about this side. Yeah, this side operates smooth, even after all that fun.
All that.
So, let me show you what you do with these.
If you're buying a JL or a JT, I don't even care if it's a 392 because it's all the same.
I will say...
Get a drag link, tie rod, and a track bar.
Actually, I need it out, though. I got to measure. I like to throw it away right now, but, you know.
Oh, and the other thing, if you buy one of these, first thing you need to upgrade to, PSC power steering. Get rid of the electronic steer assist because it's trash, too.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it on at the knuckle. Fusion says 47, so we'll see. Oh. Well, it's aluminum. Remember, we did that same thing with Mary's, and we're like, Jesus.
Okay, so 47, finger tight.
And then at the pitman arm, 77.
77? Such a weird...
77 Trans Am! Just make sure you got a permanent marker.
Nobody's going to get that reference. Other than Levi.
Are you going to fit?
No. You want to know where 77 is? I'll show you exactly. Where it's dripping in my face. Why?
Do you want me to turn the wheel?
No. Uh-oh. Rookie move. Let go. You back on there now. All right, making sure it's not spinning the stud.
Click, click.
Beep, beep, beep.
No,
okay.
it's click, click. there we go.
Now I just got to run this to the length. Oh, actually, you know what else too?
What?
You want to find me the socket for these? I didn't tighten them. I just put them in my finger.
So he's tightening the grease zerks on the rod ends. Do not over tighten these.
Yeah, they'll snap easily.
That's why he does it, not me.
I actually need an 8mm wrench.
Why is this like this, Jeep? Why? And this is the best grease gun ever.
Yeah.
And it's got little settings on it to adjust how fast it comes out.
You can set how many pumps you want to put in.
And then the end is called a lock and loop.
Yeah.
That thing is amazing as well. I'll link those in the description down below.
Dang, this end takes a lot of grease. Huh.
So for anybody who has to grease anything, we have very few issues with this compared to like a normal grease gun. Like
It always
the one,
works.
Yeah, it always works.
You don't have to deal with burp in the system.
Nope.
You just pull the trigger, man.
See? Look at this tip. It is awesome. You don't have to hold it on there. It like spring, It's got a spring in it to keep
The
tension
jaws
on
come
it.
out, and then it clamps onto the grease zerk.
It's amazing. Is that gonna work?
Yes.
Awesome. So to grease the passenger side, and I know the Gladiator's headlight is on, you gotta
I do
turn
too.
all the way passenger. What?
I do too. It's really bright.
Again. Very little effort that you have to put into this.
Yeah. Well, we got the garage heated. Let's move on. We'll jump over to another project and we'll catch back up in a minute.